What up? What it do? It's your boy DDQ with VISIONEYEVIEW TV Shorts Live. And if y'all only knew the the blooper that just happened, y'all would be laughing with me. But anyways, yes, we do have a lot of topics that I do want to cover today. So I might be here all night. Who knows? I mean, and if I am, hopefully it's worth your time. Hopefully it's worth my time because, truth be told, the my job is on hold until further notice. Basically, it's basically on a daily on-call schedule for the moment, if you will. So, like, if they need me that day, they'll let me know early in the morning, like, hey, we need you, or whatever. And that'll be that. But there's no schedule anymore. There's no exact like day-to-day schedule. Like, oh, okay, I know that I'm on like whatever Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday. No, for the moment, I am pretty much for the most part on call. But anyways, like I said, we have a few topics that I want to cover tonight. Some of them are, hip hop and rap music industry related. Some of them are funny. Some of them are, positive. Others are like a little disturbing, and others are interesting. And I just want to do commentary on each one. And then on top of that, we have a few world news or like world related news topics that I also want to touch on. And like on here, we try our best to keep things like somewhat lighthearted, and we have a few laughs here and there, and we'll have like a good conversation going in the live chat area. But also like when it gets to like the serious topics, sometimes like I think like I share too much of my emotion on how I feel about certain things, and I tend to go just slightly overboard with my emotions. Um, but it is what it is. I do try to control myself, and I do try not to disrespect anybody as best as I can, right? Because sometimes we say things that no matter how well we try to verse it or express it, it still comes off as something hurtful or, disrespectful or whatever. And there's only so much you could do sometimes to where you are trying to be as respectful as you can be. But then, if either the person or I guess the incorrect use of certain words or verbiage might come off a certain way, and it just really depends on the other side. Um, However, my grandfather from my dad's side always used to say, "I'm only ever offended if I allow myself to be," meaning that we are the ones that choose whether we allow things to affect us negatively or not, right? So I've always taken that advice, and I've always thought it was a really wise thing to say, and I've held it near and dear to my heart personally, ever since I ever first heard it, right? Um, but yeah, so without wasting too much time, let's get right into it. The first thing on the list, it's got to be, it's got to be this right here. I found this today actually. Well, I had seen it like I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, but I looked into it a little more today, and I just figured I would share it with you guys. I'm sure a lot of people already know about the situation, but at the same time, I'm sure there's a few people who know about the situation. So for those of you who hadn't heard of the situation, well, here you go. The article reads: Ye's former employee shares text of rapper requesting nitrous from dentist. All right. This was posted today, but I think the actual news broke out like a day or two ago or something like that. But anyways, it says Ye's former chief of staff reportedly provided more proof that the rapper's dentist provided nitrous oxide for recreational use. All right, and that's the thing right here is you know, there's moments where you can get certain things like this for actual medical legitimate, like, you know, procedure use and all that stuff. But then the danger comes in where people try to use their influence or their power or like money to get this type of substance for recreational use. You know what I mean? And it's dangerous. People, I don't know if people want to die or have something crazy happen to them and they just don't care about life anymore. That's sometimes what I think about Ye when it comes to this kind of thing. But let's read on. It says on Wednesday, August 13th, Milo Janopoulos, whatever, however you pronounce that, shared an alleged screenshot of text exchange between the rapper formerly known as Kanye West and his dentist, Dr. Thomas P. Connelly. Dr. Connelly appears to vouch for the legalization of recreational use of nitrous oxide in a group text between Ye and Yiannopoulos. Proof. Thomas Connelly agrees to deliver recreational nitrous oxide to his heavily addicted patient Ye at the latter's then residence, Chateau Marmont, the site of dozens of celebrity overdoses and suicides, Yiannopoulos wrote in his post on X. Man, so here goes the actual messages right here. Your spinal cord disintegrates. Why would anyone want to introduce another drug to an already depressed, addicted, demoralized, and apathetic population of dopamine slaves? Can I have the nitrous today, Tom? I don't know about y'all, but the way that Kanye is sounds on here is it sounds like a friggin' like episode from like the Boondocks or something. But he says, "Can I have nitrous today, Tom? You said you'd bring them by today. Checking in. Oh, you at the chateau? Oh my god, bro." And then the doctor, the dentist says, "Yes, can do." Um, oh my goodness, yo, I I would not want to be in this dentist shoes like at all. I mean, you know, I guess it's good and bad. It's exposure or how do they say it? What's the phrasing go? Um, any press is good press or something like that. It says this needs to be a long-term goal. Get recreational nitrous legalized, Kennelly allegedly wrote in the group chat. Wow. Meanwhile, we mastered the delivery system with a 2-year head start. Can I have nitrous today? Ye allegedly responded. Yiannopoulos recently submitted a sworn affidavit to the California Dental Board in an effort to get Dr. Connelly's license revoked. In it, he accused a celebrity dentist of selling enormous quantities of nitrous gas to Ye for recreational use. He allegedly charged Ye over $50,000 a month for the service and continued to provide the laughing gas even after Ye allegedly showed symptoms like addiction and incoherence. A rep for Dr. vehemently denied the allegations and asserted Yiannopoulos made the claims to damage his reputation. As of this report, Ye has not responded to the allegations against Dr. Connelly. Okay. Trying to see. I think the page itself is giving me issues. Oh, oh. Okay. Of course, now of all times, not the computer, the pages themselves is giving me like trouble, like acting like real slow, but whatever. We'll try to move forward. Let's see. Yeah, it's like acting like real slow. God, I hate that, yo. It's very frustrating. All right, I guess we'll just move on to the next article because the page on that website is not responding. So we will just head on to the next article real quick. All right, so this other article that I actually shared earlier today, all right, has to do with none other than 50 cents. All right, and this is, I mean, it's hilarious at the same time, but it's also like kind of like sort of like, you know, positive and like uplifting, and you know, like okay, it's not all terrible in the hip hop and rap community culture world, right? Because I mean, if any of you have been here for a long time, then for the most part, the news articles that I like present on this channel, whether it be like in the YouTube shorts or whatever, it's almost always, I want to say like 90% of the time, it's like bad news. There's a reason behind it. There's a reason. I mean, there's many reasons behind why it happens that way, but it just so happens that for the most part, whenever I do come across these like articles, that's what it is. It's like just mostly negative, bad news. Someone died, someone got kidnapped, someone got sold, someone sold drugs, someone went to jail, someone went to prison, someone got shot, someone, you know, and the list goes on. And so it's almost always like that. So when you come across small moments where you actually find somewhat positive news within the sea and ocean of like negative and bad news, you know, like why not share it, you know? So it's not all entirely doom and gloom out here, right? Even though it is for the most part, but it's not all doom and gloom. But you know, the article reads, or the headlines read, 50 Cent, Shreveport, I don't know why I got tongue tied, Shreveport, police chief praises mogul, festival went off crime free. All right. And this is somewhat old news. This is like 2 or 3 days old. But honestly, I've only ever seen anything about this like on like maybe Twitter or Instagram, whether it be because someone sent it to me or because in the emails it comes up or whatever and notifies me. But because I'm not on social media at the moment, so it's not like I can go on and see what's going on or whatever. I'm oblivious to everything that's going on. And emails and notifications is the only way I find out about some of these things. Or if I look them up. So anyways, it says here, 50 Cent is getting praise from Shreveport Chief of Police for pulling off an epic comedy and music festival that was crime-free, especially given the backdrop of the city. 50 hosted Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Andrew Schultz, Matt Rife, Bill Bellamy, and other comedians for the 4-day Humor and Harmony event, which began last Thursday. There were performances by The Baby, Master P, A Boogie, Moneybagg Yo, Money Long, and 50 himself, among many others. And there goes like the actual, you know, pamphlet or the, you know, there's the flyer, my bad. There goes the flyer right here with all the information, with the people who were there and blah, 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 right? And then it says Shreveport has had more than its share. I think there's like typos here because it should say Shreveport has had more than its fair share of crime problems, but it just says share, so whatever. So cops were bracing for any incidents given the huge crowds that showed up for the festival. In the end, there wasn't a single issue, and officials were beyond grateful to 50 who helped provide security. Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith tells TMZ 50 and his team were instrumental in keeping the event safe with good planning, resources, and masterful execution. The chief added, I haven't seen this type of positive activity downtown since the late 80s. Damn, really? That long? Holy crap. No wonder this was a big deal. Since the 80s? You telling me since the 80s? Like, no one got along? No one was having a good time? Like, no trouble? No, like, come on. That bad? Really? Damn. But anyways, it says the chief called 50 after the festival wrapped to express his gratitude. The event, which included a celeb basketball game, a car show, a G-Dome, which resembled the Vegas Sphere, was all for charity. 100% of the proceeds went to the G-Unity Foundation. That's pretty cool. And that's good to know. Which I would like to, let's look that up. Let's see what the G-Unity Foundation does. Unity Foundation. Okay, so here goes. This is the G-Unity Foundation, and this is where the proceeds apparently and supposedly went to. It says 100% of the proceeds went to this foundation. The G-Unity Foundation empowers youth to develop the confidence, tools, and knowledge they need to excel in life. Founded by Curtis Jackson, G-Unity supports and administers programs that foster conscious capitalism as well as social and leadership skills for youth nationwide. Okay. They partnered with all these teams. It's pretty cool. G-Unity Foundation continues to run groundbreaking educational intervention program currently piloted in the Houston Independent School District. You know, it seems legit. You know, I'm not going to say it's not. And I'm sure it is. It's, you know, it's the first time I hear of it. So it just caught me off guard a little bit. But anyways, I thought it was pretty cool that, it was like a positive article or story to be told. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has a novel that's coming out in September this year. I forget what it's called, but I'm sure I've either posted about it or I've done like a video on it in the past when he first expressed that he was working on a novel or like almost done with it. So, but anyways, it's a good look. It's a good look. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to share with you guys was this over here. And I just wanted, I'll give my 2 cents on it and I'll do my commentary. But honestly, I want to hear what you guys have to say about the situation. And I want to have like a somewhat like healthy conversation in the live chat. Just because I mean, I don't know how to say this. It's kind of like what I said earlier. I don't know how to say certain things without coming off as like rude or disrespectful or like careless or cold-hearted or whatever. But like, look, and I think I've said this in the past, okay? It doesn't matter where you're born and where you grow up, all right? You decide what your outcome is. You, not your surroundings, not who you grew up with, not, the family member you grew up with. Like, at the end of the day, you and only you decide what your outcome is. You decide if you're better for the situation that you were in, the place you grew up in, the habitat that surrounded you, the influences that surrounded you. Were you bigger and stronger than the influences? Were you stronger than the what do you call it? Man, there's a word for that. But like, if someone like tempts you with stuff and you're able to say no, right? They try to persuade you and they try to like get you to do stuff and try stuff. Are you choosing to be stronger and say no, right? And just walk away from it and do your own thing? Or do you give in to the influences and that kind of thing? At the end of the day, you decide what you want to do with your life, right? And so what I mean by all this is that a lot of these brothers, they get locked up, and there's people, whether it be fans or family members or friends or neighborhood friends or whatever, and they'll be, oh, like, let him go, like he ain't do nothing, oh, let him go, it was just this, like, police brutality or unfairness or whatever. And it's like, no, bro, no, stop lying to yourselves. Like, people need to understand, like, just act right, act normal. It's not that hard. It really isn't. And again, there's no excuse. It doesn't matter where you grew up. It doesn't matter who surrounded you, what surrounded you. I don't care if you were born into a gang. Okay. And I've heard stories and testimonies of people who were born in gangs, grew up in gangs, but made the decision at some point in their life, whether it be in their teen years and preteen years, adulthood, at some point they were like, yo, this is not good. This is not right. And I can make the decision of getting away from all this and starting like a different lives, doing my own thing, acting the way I want to act, doing the things that I want to do, etc. So there's no excuse that anybody could give me. I don't care like who you are, and with all due respect, because again, I grew up in those types of areas. I grew up with every corner with a drug addict or a bum or a crackhead or this and the third. And did I choose to go that route? I've never smoked a cigarette or a blunt in my life. Having the opportunity to, my entire, even to this day right now, even at where I live right now, if I really wanted to, and I really wanted to like try something, I have complete access to different drugs right now at the moment. And what do? I just choose not to. I'm not interested. It doesn't pique my curiosity. It doesn't pique my interest. It doesn't pique anything. It never has. And even if there was a moment where I was like curious, I've seen way too many people either turn out addicts or turn out, getting shot, or, so many negative things that is like, I'm good. I Even if I was curious at some point, seeing all that happen, that just killed any curiosity that there was. So, anyways, we'll watch the video, okay? I know it was like a longer rant than it should have been, and it kind of doesn't have to do all the way with like what we're about to watch, but I needed to get that out of the way beforehand because it just irks me. Like, anyways, let's see what Soldier Boy had to say to Blueface.
So after Blueface got sentenced to 4 years in prison, here goes Soldier Boy lame ass. He gonna put the laughing emojis. What, bro? This nigga is lame, bro. They always say you don't wish jail on no man. That's the last thing you do, is be happy that a nigga went to jail. Like, what the hell, bro? Soldier Boy is a grown ass 34-year-old man, and he's just sad. He live a sad life, bro. I said this shit before. He could be on legend status. He got a big enough catalog. He done collaborated with so many artists that's on top now. This nigga supposed to be like on some Gucci Man shit, putting niggas on, starting a label, becoming this big ass music mogul, getting into movies. He's a producer. He could start his own production team. He could do so much shit, but yet everybody know him from getting online, crashing out, getting high as hell, saying some dumb shit, then apologizing. Like, him and Blueface was getting into it earlier this year. I forgot even what happened. I don't know if it was over Christian. It was something that happened. And they was going back and forth. Soulja Boy told Blueface to meet him up. Blueface pulled up and said, "Where you at? You not out here?" Then Blueface ended up getting locked up. Yeah, that's what Soulja Boy was like, man, free Blueface, all wish jail on him. And he was saying all that shit in the beginning. But I don't know what happened. Maybe he did a line of coke, or he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or he woke up, checked his bank account, and got mad. I don't know what happened. But now he want to laugh at Blueface getting sentenced for 4 years. I'm like, what the hell type of lame ass shit is this? Even if they was like real enemies, why are you laughing at a nigga getting locked up? Like, come on now. Grown ass man. Shit is sad, man. What y'all think about this, your boy B? How much?
All right. So while I do agree, I do agree if another brother didn't do anything, I'm talking about they did absolutely nothing to deserve jail time or prison time. Hey, absolutely, it's not okay to laugh at that. Absolutely, it's not okay to. However, all right, if someone did something that merits jail time, okay, whatever it is, drug trafficking, human trafficking, violence, promoting gang type of like activity, so on and so forth, and they deserve to be in jail and they deserve to be locked up for whatever amount of years. I'm not saying to laugh at it, but at the same time, good, yes, lock that brother up, whatever amount of years it is, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, 10, I don't care. Because again, it's so easy to just stay put and stay calm and mind your business and not get into trouble. But these brothers, they look for trouble, bro. And I'm not saying that's specifically the case with Blueface. I'd have to look into it to see what exactly he did. But I'm talking about overall in general. Most of the time, yes. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. I don't care who you are and what you say. You can't convince me. Most of the time, when they lock these brothers up, they deserve to be locked up, bro. Like, I don't want to hear this nonsense of like, oh, like, don't wish, a nigga go. If he deserves jail time, then yes, obviously I'm not gonna laugh at him. I'm not gonna laugh at a brother. That's not who I am and what I do. And I agree with that notion. Yeah, don't laugh at nobody going to jail because it's not a good look. It's not. I wouldn't want anyone to laugh at me if I was going to jail. You know what I mean? But if they deserve to go to jail, I'm not going to say like, oh no, like free this brother. For what? Why are we trying to like free some of these people out of jail when they deserve to be? When they've done stuff that merits them being in jail? You know what I mean? It's mind blowing to me. It's mind blowing. It's like, again, like I said at the beginning of this rant, if they did absolutely nothing to merit it, sure, free the brother, someone pay bail or whatever, raise a little bit of money to get him out, cool. If they really did nothing, if they got no evidence against them, they got an alibi. There's evidence for them to actually, like to prove that they weren't doing anything or whatever. Hey, yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for real, legitimate justice. But when someone does some type of crime, any type of crime, I don't care what it is. I don't care if, God, it's just, I know it's going to sound a little exaggerated, but even if they were at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, even just the fact that they were there, yeah. Because again, like, who are the people not to be around. Like, what people it's not good to be around with. And you know what people you shouldn't associate yourself with. So yeah, even being at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, right? Yeah, even for that, if you were there and it was wrong place, wrong time, and you knew that person was trouble, and you knew like what they do and what they're into and what they're about, Yeah, do jail time. Because it's so easy to stay put in your house, minding your business. If you're an artist, you're a singer, you're a rapper or whatever, go make music. Stay in the studio. Hang out with your family. Hang out with, I don't know, like people of positive influence. But being with someone who you know in advance is no good or is up to no good on a regular and expect it to not catch up with you at some point. And this is me talking about, being at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person. Not even talking about actual legitimate crimes that some of these fools like commit, selling drugs, using drugs, like selling people, and the list goes on and on. Like violence, gang violence, like what's the word I'm looking for? Causing, I don't say disturbing the peace because that's different, but causing some type of like scene out in the open public, pretty much like causing like some type of like anxiety or uncomfortable feeling to those, like to your neighbors or those around you. Dumb stuff like that, bro. Like if you think that it's not gonna catch up with you at some point, you're dumb. You're dumb. And this goes out to all the gangster rappers and all these people who just promote violence, promote gang violence, promote, just oh my god, it's so easy, bro. I gotta laugh about it because it really is. Like I've done it all my life. I've done it all my life where I've just kept to myself, minding my own business. You know what I'm saying? And again, I had friends who were into all of that. I had friends to this day. I still have friends that if I really wanted to, I could partake of trying like this different substances here and there if I really wanted to, if I was curious about it, and if I had any interest at all. Yes, in a snap of my fingers, I could have any of that stuff all my life. Not once have I been interested in it. Not once has it piqued my curiosity. Not once has it like nothing, bro. Nothing. Nothing. And it's remained that way to this day. Like, I don't know, man. I don't I don't know why it's so hard for some of these brothers to just stay out of trouble, bro. I don't get it. And again, I don't care what excuse anybody like, oh, that's just the lifestyle they know. Nigga, again, it doesn't matter what lifestyle you know and what lifestyle you grew up in. If you see and you notice and you acknowledge that none of it leads to anything good, anything positive, anything constructive, anything beneficial, it should give you a hint. It should be like a clue. Like maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't partake in what they're doing. Maybe I shouldn't be with that crowd or that person. You know what I mean? It really truly is that easy and simple. It really is. But it's people, I don't know. I don't know. People just care too much about what other people think, and they just peer pressure is too much, and that's most people. You know what I mean? Like peer pressure gets most people, I guess. Not me. Not once has peer pressure worked on me. Not once. Not even God, Lee, man. And I'm telling y'all, like there's been so many instances where I could have had so many different things. Could have tried so many different things and done so many different things. Never have, never will, don't care to. It just a lot of y'all like peer pressure is y'all are weak. I'm sorry, and it's gonna sound. This is one of those things that I was trying to say earlier. Like sometimes I can't find a better word to use, and it just comes off as like cold or disrespectful. But a lot of y'all are weak with like peer pressure, bro. And I'm talking to y'all that's like in these little like cliques and like gangs or whatever. Y'all like your minds and like your spirit and your soul and your heart is like so weak. Y'all don't know how to decide for yourselves. Y'all don't know how to like make decisions on your own. Y'all don't know how to be your own people, your own person. And it's sad. It's like really, really sad, yo. It's really sad. Um, and so again, like I'm not laughing at Blueface for him being in jail, but at the same time, I'm like, good. And if he has to do additional time, cool. Like I don't personally know the guy, so I don't really care like that. But if he did something that merits him to be in there, then yeah, let him be in there. There should be no like free him or let him out or no. What? Oh my god. Okay. All right. My bad, yo. It just really is that simple. It really is that simple to stay out of trouble, yo. It really is. People make it really hard, and people make it so difficult, but it really is super easy to stay out of trouble. Um, but you gotta want to not be in trouble. You gotta want to like something different for yourself, and you just gotta make decisions, yo. You can't expect to see change while not doing anything different, and you can't expect better things when you're already living in a terrible situation and you see that you're not doing good, you see you're doing terrible, you're in a bad place, bad area, surrounded by terrible people, and think that, oh well, maybe one day like it'll change like for the better. No, you need to remove yourself, yo. Like that, you need to remove yourself. Like, oh my god, yo. All right. There's I'll be honest, there's not a lot to talk about as far as like news articles. Like as usually there's like there's like a few articles that I pull up doing throughout the stream that either I made a short on or did like a video on or something. But today was like a very slow, uninteresting day in the rap and hip hop music industry news area. If I'm honest, um, don't get me wrong. There's articles out there and there's news to pick at, but nothing like really like hair raisingly like interesting or nothing crazy. Oh, the craziest thing out of the ones I just showed y'all is probably like the police like actually cheering on 50 Cent for his festival. That's like the honestly the out of the 4 or 3 articles that I shared with you guys just now, that's like the best thing that's happened within today's news, and some of it is even old, So, but anyways, I I don't know if I should share like the important news right now or not, because I kind of do want to wait for other people to get here before I get to that, because it's I want a lot of people to like uh, know about that situation and just kind of like prepare accordingly for the situation at hand. But yeah. Anyways, here let's yeah, let's do this. And let me just double check one more time before I do anything else. Because if anything, I'll just go straight to the important news. If I don't find anything like you know uh, share worthy when it comes to the the music industry, we'll get right into the important stuff. Um, but it really has been like a slow day. Like it really. Um, sure, we'll talk about this, I guess. Uh, Mm, interesting. I guess we could talk about this too. Um, Again, nothing like really crazy, but I guess might as well talk about it. Might as well talk about it. All right, so let's start with this one over here. We have by mercurynews.com, and the headlines read: Second suspect charged in July, fatal shooting of rapper in Oakland. Um, I don't know why, but okay, that's why. Why is this still there? Okay. Tell me I can't read it, bro. Like, a motive still has not been determined in the shooting of the woman who performed as Tan the God. All right. So the article reads, in Oakland, a second suspect has been arrested and charged. And come on, man, I'm not trying to subscribe to y'all, bro. Oh my god. Mm. Second suspect has been arrested and charged in the fatal shooting last month of a rising rapper shortly after she performed at a grand opening for North Oakland beauty supply business, according to authorities and court documents. Richard Romano, 32 years old, is charged with murder, assault with a firearm, and being a felon, possession of a firearm, in the death of, I can't read the name, but I might have to look this up somewhere else. Here, let's do this. I refuse to believe they're the only ones with that news article. So we're going to look for another site that has it. There isn't going to be a B word about it. Here. Yeah, let's try this one. All right. Hopefully they don't do the same crap again. Okay, good. All right, here we go. God, it's so terrible that when they do that. Just let me read the news, yo. I don't want to subscribe to you. All right. Says the same charges were filed. Well, hold on. Let's read with the name. Okay. Guess they worded it differently. But whatever. The same charges were filed July 22nd against Dominique Gates, 30 years old. The other suspect in the fatal shooting was arrested July 18th near his Berkeley home. Gates, the fatal shooting happened about 5 p.m. July 13 after Green filmed a music video and performed at the grand opening of Glamour Beauty Supply at the corner of 40th Street and Telegraph Avenue. The shooting happened in a parking lot where dozens of people were present. Another woman was injured, apparently by shattered glass, police said. Green had thousands of followers, well-known Oakland rapper and philanthropist Mr. FAB on social media praised her ambition, drive, and courage, as well as having a heart that was big as Texas. You can look at me, baby. Okay. Oh, God. All right. So, yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, and I said this earlier, like, most of the news articles that I come across It's just straight up bad news. Someone got shot, someone got murdered, someone got killed, someone died, someone, you know, and that's the way it is, like, for the most part, and it sucks because you want to find something good and positive within the ocean of negative news, but it's like little to none. But anyways, let me see if I can read this without having to subscribe. All right, my bad. This might be a fun share. This is by notjustok.com. The headlines reads, 9 Nigerian artists who you didn't know were Muslims. You know them for their chart-topping hits, their electrifying performances, and their undeniable influence on Nigerian culture. But what you might not know is that many of your favorite Afrobeat stars are devout Muslims. I'm not surprised. And then they have like the actual list with the pictures and everything. Apparently this guy, Olamide, or however you pronounce that, one of Nigeria's top rappers and music producers, openly practices Islam. Despite his success in the secular music industry, he maintains his religious beliefs and occasionally references them in his music. Of course, this brother is definitely into that. Reminisce is a rapper and songwriter who has made a significant impact on the Nigerian music scene. He is a devout Muslim, and his faith reflected in his personal life and sometimes in his lyrics. Vector, well-known rapper, and I mean, I didn't know him until now, but well-known rapper and lyricist in Nigeria, was born into a Muslim family and practices Islam. His stage name, Vector the Viper, is well known in the music industry, but he keeps his religious practices more private. Nice. 9 Ice. Okay. Famous for his song Gango Aso, is a Muslim. He often reflects his Yoruba culture in his music, but keeps his religious life relatively low-key. Naira Marley. I don't know. I mean, I will say I'm scrolling through all of them. I don't know any of them. I'm sure they're well known around the world, but I don't personally know them. But I will say that this is a perfect moment to lift them all up in prayer, and that they might come to Christ. And I know some of you are going to be like, oh, like, leave them alone. That's what they believe in. That's their faith and their religion, And it's like, hey, there's no. I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, okay, put it to you like this. I don't find anything wrong. Like, if you believe in what you believe in, right, and you want me to convert to what you believe in, right, then then your responsibility, right, as someone who wants that, is for you to pray to your God and be like, hey, like, have him or help him, like, see the light, help him see the truth or whatever, and help him see that this is the actual correct, right religion or like faith that he should like try to like live by, right, and be consistent with it. I have no problem with that. You can do that all day, every day long, for as long as you want, because if it is true and if it is legitimate, then guess what? At some point, eventually, then I'll see the light that you're talking about, and I'll see the truth that you're talking about, and I'll see, I'll stand corrected and be, oh man, like, I've been missing out. Like, I can't believe I was wrong all this time. I don't have a problem with people believing so much in their faith that they have that that take on it, where it's like, well, we're gonna pray for you, because like, if indeed you are correct and you are in the truth and you are in the correct path, right, and the God that you serve is the one true God, and you are continuously praying for me, then at some point, whether it be in a dream or a vision or something, I'll see the light, right, that you're talking about, and I'll have no choice but to convert to that, right, if it is indeed the truth, if it is the actual truth. and if your God is the actual one true God, right? So I'm okay with that. So since I'm okay with that, then there should be no problem with me saying, let's lift these guys up in prayer, because the God that I believe in, who I believe to be the one true God, and the faith that I believe in, and I believe to be the one true faith, right? You know, if it is, then it'll be the other way around. They'll be the ones seeing the actual light and seeing the actual like truth, and you know, made the jump because they had no choice, because you know, like they had a vision, or God spoke to them in a dream, or you know, something supernatural happened to where like they have no choice but to convert to this side, right? So I think it's a fair request. You know what I mean? Because it goes both ways. You know, if you believe in what you believe in so strongly, then hey, pray for me too. Who knows? What if I'm wrong? I don't believe I'm wrong, but what if I am? Then you know, it's a chance, an opportunity you have to have me see the light. But it goes both ways, because if we already believe in two different things, and we feel and believe strongly about those two different things, then you know, I don't see an issue with praying for the other person to, you know what I mean? But that's just me. Maybe I just see things like that, and I try to be as fair as I can with it. But yeah, in my opinion, uh, I think we should pray for these guys and for them to come to Christ. You know what I mean? That's just me. Um, who is all here? Because I see people here. I just, no one is saying anything, so I don't know who all is here. I don't know who is here. I don't know who's watching, and it's kind of creepy. So announce yourselves. That sounded even worse. Announce yourselves. Anyways, I am going to be here for a while. So for those of you who are going to be silent and I'm going to be doing all the talking, y'all will have to like bear with me as I sip on my water every now and then, because I don't know why when I do these streams, I lose my voice very, very quickly and very early on in the stream, you know, and it sucks because I want to talk a lot more and like, you know, talk more, what do you call it, like consistently, but then my throat will stop me. It's just weird. But so hold on. All right. So the next topic at hand. All right, it's gonna be this over here. Okay. So all right, I'm sure most of y'all already know about this. I spoke about it a little. Well, I haven't really expanded on it, but I did share a YouTube short on it. I think like a day or two ago or something like that. And I'm surprised that it didn't do as well as I would have hoped, because this is something that everybody should know. All right, they're at it again. Yes, yes, the governments of the world are at it again. Right, and I just I want everybody to embrace themselves. All right, don't go crazy. Like, don't go crazy going to Walmart buying up all the toilet paper and stuff like that. But please do be prepared. Please make sure you have, like, I want to say at least anywhere between 5 and 10 boxes of bottled water. All right, stored in your place just in case. Okay, just in case things go south by the end of the year or at the start of next year, right? Um, don't be caught off guard. Don't we have a saying back home, and I guess in English it'd be like, don't be caught with your pants pulled down or something like that. You know what I mean? Just try to be a step ahead. If you can't be 2 steps ahead, try to be 1 step ahead at least. And with that, I mean, just make sure you have multiples of the essentials of the house, like water, sure, of course, toilet paper, paper towels, um, toothpaste, non-perishable foods and stuff like that, right? Don't go overboard. Don't buy like half of the store at Walmart. Like if you got to like that, if you got the money like that, don't leave some for leave a good amount for other people. But at the same time, make sure you have like a couple of months worth of not non-perishables and just the most essential important items that you can think of for your household. Because if okay, a big if 2020 repeats itself or hits worse than 2020, then you're gonna have wanted to have like prepared a lot better this time around. Because yeah, and the thing is, this isn't like new. Like this is new to the extent of like, sure, like now it's reached like more levels of like caution or whatever, right, over the last few days and weeks. But the actual problem itself isn't new. They've been talking about this since like last year or something like that, and just the stuff just got worse and worse as time went on. And the thing is that now it's not even just like an Africa um, caution thing. It's like a worldwide caution thing. It says here, who declares Mpox global health emergency? All right. So I'll read the article real quick. But so it says here, the World Health Organization has declared the Mpox outbreak in parts of Africa a public health emergency of international concern. International concern. The highly contagious disease, formerly known as monkeypox, has killed at least 450 people during an initial outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It has now spread across parts of Central and East Africa, and scientists are concerned about how fast a new variant of the disease is spreading and its high fatality rate. The World Health Organization Chief Tedros Adhanom, and I'm not going to pronounce that last name, said the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. A coordinated international response is essential to stop this outbreak and save lives. Mpox is transmitted through close contact such as sex, skin-to-skin contact, and talking or breathing close to another person. It causes flu-like symptoms. Let's read that again, shall we? It causes flu-like symptoms, skin lesions, and can be fatal, with 4 in 100 cases leading to death. Outbreaks can be controlled by preventing infections with vaccines. Here we go again. Though these are usually only available for people at risk or those who have been in close contact with an infected person. There are 2 main types of Mpox, Clade 1 and Clade 2. A previous Mpox public health emergency declared in 2022 was caused by the relatively mild Clade 2. However, this time it is the far more deadly Clade 1, which has killed up to 10% of those getting sick in previous outbreaks. That is surging. There was a change in the virus around September of last year. Mutations led to an offshoot called Clade 1b that has since spread rapidly. This new variant has been labeled the most dangerous yet by one scientist. Since the start of the year, there have been more than 13,700 cases of Mpox in the DR Congo, with at least 450 deaths. It has been detected in other African countries, including Burundi, the Central African Republic, Kenya, and Rwanda. It is hoped the declaration of mpox as a public health emergency will lead to research, funding, and the introduction of other international public health measures being accelerated. Here we go. This, out of the entire paragraph, this is what you need to like focus on right here. All right. Listen to what it says again. All right. It is hoped the declaration of mpox as a public health emergency will lead to research, funding, and the introduction of other international public health measures being accelerated. So a lot of these things, like the man, it's gonna be like, I hope not. I really hope to God it doesn't get difficult to travel, but apparently it will. And nobody move. I gotta do something real quick. I gotta do something real quick because the Instagram thing is doing what it does again, and I gotta restart it. Here, let's do this. My bad. It's real fast. I promise y'all. It's just Instagram is weird like that. They only let you do a 1 hour stream and then it cuts off. So I gotta restart it every time an hour passes. All right. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, where was that? Yeah. What I was saying was, there's gonna be a lot of restrictions, like because of measures really means restrictions. Just replace the word measures. All right. Let's read that again. It is hoped the declaration of mpox as a public health emergency will lead to research, funding, and the introduction of other international public health restrictions being accelerated. All right. So all you got to do is just switch out those two words, and it's the same thing. Dr. Josie Golding from the Wellcome Trust said it was a strong signal, while Emory University's Dr. Boguma Titanji said the move underscores the gravity of the crisis. Professor Trudy Lane, the director of the Global Health Network at the University of Oxford, said it was important and timely, but added that the emergence of a new strain meant there were many unknowns that need to be addressed. God, so much information here. Thank God it's almost done. It spread rapidly, and in July 2022, the milder clade 2 strain of mpox spread to nearly 100 countries, including some in Europe and Asia. It spread rapidly, and there were more than 87,000 cases and 140 deaths reported during the outbreak, according to a WHO account. Although anyone can catch monkeypox, the outbreak was largely concentrated among men who had sex with men. So I'm safe. My bad, y'all. If it were just on that, I'm extremely safe if that was the case. But anyways, the outbreak was brought under control by vaccinating vulnerable groups. Sure. On Tuesday, scientists from the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention declared a public health emergency. The head of the organization, John Kasige, warned that this current outbreak could spiral out of control if immediate steps were not taken to contain it. We must be proactive and aggressive in our efforts to contain and eliminate this threat, he said. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell y'all right now, get your supplies ready. Get your water bottles. Get your non-perishable foods. Make sure you got batteries of every type, AA, AAA, C, D, whatever. And make sure you are prepped up, because I have a very, very bad feeling that between the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So the last few months of this year or the first quarter of next year, I feel like all hell is going to break loose, and it's going to be a 2020 repeat all over again. And it could be either the same or worse. But that's just my opinion. Like, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, and nothing happens, and it's like, oh, it's just like a scare or whatever, and they're good, they're preparing things for like later on down the line. But it's just one of those gut feelings, that something terrible is going to happen between the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So that's just my opinion on it. And whoever is in here, you are free to put your opinion, put your thoughts, whatever you want to do. Feel free to do so. But in the meantime, while I wait for anyone to say anything, hold on. Okay. I double check sometimes with Instagram because the speed sucks. Check something real quick. You know what? I got an idea. Let's see. Okay. See if you can see like a short video on it. Okay, I got like a small news thing about it, so here we go. Let's do. All right, here we go.
Be worrying that this is the next COVID. Why are we seeing this in Africa now?
Morning, Lizzie. Yes, so when the global emergency, the last one on Mpox, was actually ended last year, the spread of Mpox continued in Africa. It is endemic in parts of Africa, and the strain that we are seeing currently is actually from one of the endemic strains, and it is usually a more deathly and worse strain than what we saw in 2022.
And what are the risks globally?
At this stage, I would like to say fairly low, but as we saw with COVID, you really can't say never. These things move fast, and already this is moving. It's moved out of Central Africa to East Africa. It was one of the issues that the WHO raised last night when they were talking about declaring this fake or this emergency status. It is the highest alarm level that the WHO has, and yeah, I mean, we've seen moving across the continents, even from fairly remote areas, and so the risk is there.
So Bavarian Nordic has said that it can meet the vaccine demand, but of course the success, as we learned in COVID, is really going to depend on coordination with governments and institutions. What effect does the emergency declaration have?
It marshals resources for sure. In Africa, vaccines. One of the reasons, just going back to your first question, why we've seen the spread now in Africa is that during 2022 and 23, Africa got no vaccines for Mpox, even though it is endemic in parts of this continent. And so it does marshal resources on a global scale, which is good. They are still hashing out what the WHO is hashing out what they're going to ask of member states and what exactly that will entail. They can't really force too much, and there will be some delicate discussions in the coming days and weeks as to how to get vaccines on the ground. Obviously, as you referred to, it's a complicated process. It's also got to be able to be received on the ground, and shots have to get into arms.
All right, so that's some information on it, I guess. I know I make it sound like she didn't say nothing. I know she said a lot in a very short amount of time, but still, it's kind of like same old. Like nothing has changed, bro. Like every single time is like something like flu related or something like similar to the flu or just like the flu, only has slight, small, like very minimal like changes here and there, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just, I don't know, it's become so, how can I say this? So like before, like when I was back on the island, right? It felt like every 8-10 years or so, something crazy would happen, you know? Ebola or the thing that happened before Ebola or whatever, right? And it was like, man, it was crazy. Like this happened like every so years. But I feel like, and I could be wrong about this, and if I am, like it's cool. It's just my opinion, and at some point I'll look into it. But it feels like as time passes, the length of time in between these catastrophes, right? These catastrophes, like, are more and more closer to each other. So if when I was young, maybe it used to happen every like 8 to 10 years, now it's happening every like 6 to 4 years or less. You know what I mean? And I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but it's just, that's the way I feel. I feel like it happens like a lot sooner and more often than what it used to, like back when you were like young or something, like a kid or teenager. And I feel like that's gonna be the cycle that we're gonna be in, is that it's gonna keep happening in less and less time. So instead of like it used to be happening in 8 years, and now it's happening in between 6 and 4 years at a time. Next thing you know, it's going to happen between 4 and 2 years at a time. So, for example, let's say it hits by the end of this year or the start of next year, right? Then by 2028, you know what I mean? It's like another epidemic or something comes out the one. It's like, we just got out of this one. That's what it's gonna feel like. It's gonna, because it still feels that way with the last thing that happened. You know what I mean? Like it feels like 2020 just happened like a few months ago. Still, to a lot of us. You know what I mean? So I have a very, very huge feeling that the length of time in between these man-made catastrophes and man-made epidemics or whatever, or pandemics, however you want to whichever term you want to use, because one thing leads to another and vice versa, will keep happening in less and less time as time passes. And that part really bothers me, because there's a lot of things that I haven't done yet, and a lot of places I haven't visited yet. There's, a lot of people I want, like family and friends that I want to spend time with, and one specific person that I want to spend time with. And it's looking like it's going to become more and more difficult as the days pass. But yeah, I don't even know who all is here, yo. I hate not knowing who's here. I hate not knowing who is here. There we go. I don't know if I said it right the first time. But anyways, yeah, if there is any thoughts or opinions on that whole matter, please feel free to share your thoughts, or if you have any information you want to share. Matter of fact, let's see if, well, yeah, let me see if he's if he is available and if he wants to join, because sometimes people are available but they can't or don't want to join. So all right, we'll see. We'll see if he can or wants to. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to do a double check and see if anything else has popped up as far as like news articles and stuff like that relating to the music industry, etc., etc., etc. Huh, that guy kind of looks like Alex, but it's not. It's Action Bronson. Oh, oh, okay. No. I guess there is a few things that just happened, or interesting. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll get to it eventually. There was like an article or something like that I saw like a day or two ago, and it was like a video or something on like, oh, like the white guy or white male culture vulture thing explained, and I'm like, oh my god, there's more culture vultures within the culture itself, within the community itself, than there is like actual legitimate like white guy like culture vultures. You know what I mean? Like I would dare to say, more than half of the artists, rappers, and singers out there within the culture and in the community are culture vultures. There's very few, very minimal, like I want to say like maybe like a handful of like rappers and artists who are of the actual culture or community, Um, and I feel like their voices are like just muted, or they're not given like the amount of support that the other ones are. Like the culture vultures are the ones that are being pushed more at the forefront. You know what I mean? Like the 6ix9ines of the world and stuff like that. They're the ones being pushed at the very forefront of what some or most of the people within the community think the culture is, if that makes any sense. I mean, I hope I expressed it correctly. But what I'm trying to say is, like, the white boy culture vulture dilemma is little to non-existent. It really is, because the ones who are part of like the music and inside the industry, like, best example, one of the greatest rappers of all time, and people hate hearing it because in their minds they can't grasp that like it happened this way. But I'm not saying the best and the greatest rapper of all time, but one of the greatest rappers of all time is Eminem, and he's a white boy. Is he a culture vulture? No. This dude allegedly, okay, according to him and everything else, grew up in a trailer park, grew up in some type of ghetto, grew up in some type of like bad, extremely terrible circumstances. I cannot, would not, and would not dare to call that a person who is a culture vulture, because if they came out of some type of slum and were able to make something of themselves, all right, and were able to talk about the slums and uh if you were in it, then no one should have a problem and should have an issue with you talking about it. Like whoever you are, whether you're white, black, brown, yellow, whatever, and you lived in the trenches, you were born, raised in the trenches, no matter what color you are, there should be absolutely no problem, and no one should have the audacity to be like, oh, you culture vulture because you cut your skin color. No, bro, like, get to know the person first. If they really not about that life, you know what I mean, and they were not born in those types of circumstances, then okay, you know what I mean, then figure it out. But right off the bat, calling someone a culture vulture just because of the skin color is just it's the dumbest thing you could do. It's the worst thing you could do, because you don't know what that person's been through. You don't know what that person's seen, lived, or endured growing up. You don't know. So I'll tell you right now, whoever says anything different is ignorant. Because if you don't have the capacity to hear that and say that's fair and that makes sense, and that's, you know what I'm saying, that's common sense or whatever, then you just want to be blind, you want to be ignorant, you want to be a fool, you want to see things how you want to see them, and that's what it is at the end of the day. But you can't call someone a culture vulture just because of skin color. You just can't. Get to know the person, find out like where they were born, where they grew up at. It's like me, bro. Like, listen, when I tell people that I grew up and was okay, for example, so born in PR, right, in Bayamon, and then went to the States, went to different areas of the state, okay, Florida, Georgia, Texas, I think at some point, and this is all like between as a baby or toddler or whatever, and then ultimately like was in Florida, right, close to the OBT area, not in the OBT area, close to it. Okay, those who know OBT, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so not in OBT, but literally like a sneeze away from OBT, basically the same thing, and y'all know it is, because anyways, I digress. Then West Palm Beach, all right. At the time, it was like Lake Crystal or whatever. and then it was between like Summer Hill and another place. I forget what the two hoods like were, but basically it was like in an area that was in between these two hoods. And then went back home to PR, same place that I was born in, Miami. And again, we were in a neighborhood that was in between two ghettos. So we had friends from this ghetto, we had friends from that ghetto. We grew up in between the ghettos. All right. And then we moved to Bonito, where we lived a sneeze away from the ghetto. So like I lived in all these different places. I seen what I seen. I seen people die of overdose out on broad daylight. I've seen bums and like what do you call it? Cokeheads, crackheads, people who are alcoholics or whatever, out in broad daylight, just chilling, asking for money, day in and day out. People robbing stuff and trying to sell them to me or the neighbors or whatever, just for drugs, and it's like I said earlier, I grew up in it, I've seen it all, like, but it doesn't dictate who I am nowadays. I chose and decided to pretty much like stay away from everything and anything that looked like it was no good. You know what I mean? Like I never in my entire life, and I wonder if there is some type of there should be some type of incentive for people who have never tried any drug at all in their entire life. There should be some type of incentive or reward because check me and test me every day. That'd be great. That'd be awesome if there was something like that, but there isn't. But anyways, yeah, I grew up in all those different areas, right? And to the point where one of the middle schools and high schools that I went to back home on the island, well, the middle school. Well, the middle school was connected to the high school, but it happened on the middle school side. There was a huge gang fight, and it was all over the news back home on the island. Gang members they brought aluminum bats, wooden bats, brass knuckles. They thought they were like in the 1980s or 1990s, like gang war movie or something like that. Like they thought they were like legit, like. But they were, what I'm saying? They were all arrested, like both. This happened in my middle school. This happened in broad daylight in the basketball court of my middle school. Right? This was me going back to PR 2001 or something like that. Like we witnessed this happen. No one told it to us. No one, what I'm saying? We didn't wait for the news. Like we seen it happen in broad daylight. How all these dudes were pretty much about to start this huge fight. Someone tipped somebody off. And so when the fight was about to start, or it had just started, right? And punches were being thrown and this and that, and weapons were being used. The cops got there almost immediately and were able to break it up. But if you seen the tables of the weapons being used in that fight, yeah, I would have thought it was something from 1980s, 1990s, gang war movie or something like that. These are the places that I grew up in. These are the places that I grew up in and that I seen for myself, what it is. All right. So if, for example, if I were to talk about it in a rap song or something like that, nobody, absolutely nobody has any ounce or way to tell me, oh, you're a culture vulture because you're a Christian and you shouldn't be talking about that. Brother, just because I'm a Christian and just because I chose and made the decision to live a life away from all that stuff does not mean that the right of me talking about it gets taken away. You know what I mean? Just because I decide to live my life a better way and make something of myself and, do better and be better and stay away from all that crap doesn't take away the fact that I witnessed it, I seen it, I experienced it, like I was there. No one told me this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There's a lot of rappers and singers out there who never witnessed not even half of what I witnessed, and yet they talk about it as if it were like day-to-day life for them, and they get away with it because it sounds good, right? And because the fans and the people of and inside the culture and the community love how it sounds, and that's it. It's like the Rick Ross situation, bro. The biggest culture vulture in all of hip hop and rap music culture is Rick Ross, and I will never stop like talking about. Well, you know what I mean. Like if someone asks me, like, oh, who do you think is like the biggest culture vulture? I'm gonna say Rick Ross, without hesitation, without any type of like pause or nothing like that. Like it, yeah, definitely 1,000% Rick Ross is the biggest culture vulture of all time. Nigga, a corrections officer, and then when you see the pictures, he don't even look like a tough corrections officer, bro. He looked like the most wholesome, most innocent, most like sweet looking, like because there's corrections officers and there's corrections officers. You know what I mean? Like you've seen a few and it's like, oh, you know, they better not mess with that guy. You've seen pictures of him as the corrections officer. It's like, oh, he looks like a teddy bear. He looks like a nice dude or whatever. You know, he might give me some extra food every now and then if I behave or something like that. You know what I mean? But yet he's regarded as like this big like crime boss or crime lord because he stole the identity of one of the inmates. So it blows my mind how people will like get upset when like a white dude like does like rap or whatever and like, you know, gets like tatted up and does his thing and oh, culture vulture, nigga. We have the most culture vultures on our side, bro. Like, and when I say we, I just mean people of color have the most culture vultures within the community itself. You know what I mean? Starting with Rick Ross, but not ending with him. Starting with Rick Ross, but ending with 6ix9ine or one of these like newer rapper trap artists. You know, the list goes on and on, bro. Like it's sad. It's sad to see people really, really upset about dumb stuff like that. Like, I don't know. But it is what it is. It's gonna be 7. Okay. So there's 3 articles that I do want to share in the meantime. All right. Now hold up. Okay. I was gonna say I don't hear nothing on my side. Never mind. All right. Here we go with this one. All right, so this is by manga.com. The headline reads, I don't know why sometimes I say that wrong, but the headline reads, 50 Cent doubles down on his Diddy defenders' criticism. They've been to those parties. For 50 Cent, those who have kept quiet about Diddy's accusations are the most complicit ever since the accusations against Diddy became public. The rap mogul has settled 2 different lawsuits, and there's even a video where he assaults one of his victims that went viral. Amid that ongoing controversy, rapper 50 Cent made it his mission to expose Diddy as he is about to release an explosive Netflix docuseries that deals with potentially catastrophic consequences for Diddy's career. We still have no idea of what will be exposed in this series, but 50 Cent is already teasing some parts of it. It's specifically about people close to Diddy who are also major stars that have remained quiet amid all the scandals. 50 has specifically been going against fellow rapper Jay-Z, who's a regular at those Diddy parties, and I don't doubt it at all. That's another dude that people hold in high regard, and it's been exposed time and time again. He ain't about that life, but that life that he was talking about, of being a drug dealer and this and that, he was not about that life. And he's been exposed over and over again over time. And yet people still hold him at high regard. Like, oh, he, you know what I'm saying? He was from the hood and he was from this and that. Like, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. There's another cultural vulture right there. And yet no one points it out. Like no one, it's like it's hard for someone like my people to be like open their mind and their eyes and being like accepting truths like that. Because they don't, it's like if it's not one of theirs, then it's not real. No, bro. Like it's not how it works. Like if you're not, you're not, and if you are, you are. It's just the way it is. Like why is there like so much like fight of like, oh, he talked about it and he was, he rapped about it and sang about it, so he must know. Like, you know how many people can tell him all these like different things and slang words and stories and this and that, and you know how easy it is for someone to pick up on a lot of this stuff and just make a song about it. It's extremely easy, I promise you. It's not that hard. But anyways, in a recent interview with US Weekly, 50 Cent was asked about the series and what we can all expect from it. The docu-series is titled Did He Do It? I remember I did a short, YouTube short, asking people to like how they would name or title the docu-series that 50 was working on, but that's still a good one. It's still a good one. Did he do it? Here's what he said: I'm the only person in hip hop culture who has produced any hit television. Why wouldn't I be the person to produce it? And I'm not on the tapes. See, some of the people who have been around in the culture who are not saying anything, that's because they've been to the parties and they don't know what part of their experiences are on tape. So it keeps them quiet. And it looks like I'm the only guy, but I've been saying for years that something's not right. What about those Diddy parties? One of the wildest urban legends surrounding these parties, organized by Diddy, is that he was some sort of hip-hop Jeffrey Epstein, meaning that he threw some of the wildest parties with some of the world's biggest celebrities from all industries and had hidden cameras all over the place. According to the legend, had some of the world's according to the legend, these parties were sexually charged, and these alleged recordings had some of the world's biggest names committing sexual acts that can be considered unspeakable. If this is true, the list of names involved in this scandal will become front page news as soon as it's made public. But we'll have to wait and see what the 50 Cent docuseries reveals. That's some funny stuff, though. Okay. I don't know why, but that, okay. And did he do it? It's funny. I think it's funny. All right. So there's that. Speaking of Diddy, this is by hiphop.com. Diddy accuser Lil Rod, who's suing 50 Cent. Okay. Lil Rod, who's suing 50 Cent's rival Diddy for sexual assault and much more, attended the G-Unit Rappers Humor and Harmony weekend. Uncle Murda crossed paths with Lil Rod, the producer suing Diddy for $30 million at 50 Cent's Humor and Harmony weekend in Shreveport, Louisiana. Uncle Murda shared a clip of his interaction with Lil Rod on Thursday. I ran into a nigga that accused Diddy of all that weird crap, the producer Uncle Murda wrote on Instagram. Homie won his money by Monday. Everybody was outside of Humor and Harmony vibes. Whoa. No Diddy. Lil Rod, whose real name is Rodney Jones, spoke briefly in Uncle Murder's video. I'm from Chicago. Lil Rod said, "We don't play about our business." Lil Rod filed a bombshell lawsuit against Diddy in February. The producer said he was sexually assaulted, drugged, and forced to solicit sex workers, among other claims during his time working with Diddy. Those are some big accusations. Lil Rod accused Diddy of leading a widespread and dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization. Lil Rod also claimed Diddy had damning footage of various celebrities and power players who attended the disgraced mogul's freak-off parties. While living and traveling with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones discovered that Mr. Combs had his hidden cameras in every room of his homes. Lil Rod's lawyer wrote, Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs has recordings of defendants Lucian Charles Grange, Ethiopia Haptemariam, as well as other celebrities, music label executives, politicians, athletes. Mr. Combs possesses compromising footage of every person that has attended his freak-off parties and his house parties. Diddy is under federal investigation for all allegations of sex trafficking. Homeland Security raided his homes in March, but he hasn't been charged with any crimes thus far. Lil Rod was just one of the many people who sued Diddy for sexual assault over the past year. Diddy's legal woes began when his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura sued him for rape and years of abuse in November 2023. The two quickly settled out of court, but more women filed lawsuits in subsequent weeks and months. Diddy maintains his innocence. And that's the thing, man. Like, none of these fools are ever gonna, like, they're not gonna come out and say it. At least not, you know, definitely not willingly. They're not gonna be like, oh, you know, like this and that and that. Because it's like the amount of terrible, satanic, demonic nature of the acts that occurred is so overwhelmingly strong that they're not going to want people to think of them differently, you know what I mean, over stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's going on. And I got one last article to share with you guys before I take a break and come back. So let's get right to it. I thought this was interesting. This is by xxlmag.com. Old Dirty B Word, complex mind explored in A&E Old Dirty B Word, A Tale of Two Dirties documentary. The science of Old Dirty B Word's complex mind is explored in the title that I just read. The first official documentary of the late Wu-Tang Clan member presented by A&E. A special screening of the doc showcased in partnership with Tribeca membership and XXL on Wednesday evening at Look Dine-In Cinemas in New York. Allowed viewers to see the human side of the often troubled rap star. ODB's wife, Iceline Jones, his sons, Boston Jones and Weather Park, daughter, Taniqua Jones, and the documentary's co-directors, Sam Pollard and Jason Pollard, were in attendance. ODB, A Tale of Two Dirties, includes never-before-seen footage filmed by Iceline, who captured decades of intimate moments with the famed rapper as a husband and father, in addition to conversations with Iceline, Barson, Taniqua, ODB's own father, and other family members. This definitive documentary features Wu-Tang Clan members Ghostface Killah and Raekwon, Dame Dash, singer Mariah Carey, ODB's former A&R Dante Ross, and music executive Steve Rifkind, among others. ODB's rap career as a founding member of Wu-Tang, his solo career, and first album release, Return to the 36 Chambers, the dirty version, in 1995 are focal points, as well as the ups and downs of his personal and professional life, including his long-running battle with substance abuse. Early acclaim for Wu-Tang's 1993 debut track, Protect Your Neck, old footage of ODB rapping on the Stretch Armstrong and Burrito show from the 1990s, and spitting rhymes for a crowd of people, including an impressed Busta Rhymes, highlight ODB's lyrical talents in the doc. Archived audio footage from the past, interviews, and conversations with ODB provide another layer to the rapper behind the rhymes. While the music industry knew him as ODB, He was also known as Asan, unique to his family and friends. The righteous name was given to him as a member of the 5% nation. When he was unique, he was much more scholarly, said Ramsey, ODB's brother. Regarding the rhymer's 5% nation studies, it was like two different personalities. ODB connected the two in his rhymes. Asan, I keep planets in orbit while I be coming with deeper and more. He delivers on the classic track Brooklyn Zoo. Like the film's title, The Tale of the Two Dirties, ODB had to weave between his two worlds as Asan, the man, and ODB the rapper. He's like Incredible Hulk, said ODB in the film while describing himself as ODB the artist. When he comes, he's like a superhero. He comes to entertain. He puts spirit in people. Dirty was the soul of the group. Ghostface Killer adds in the doc, produced by Pulse Films, 4 screens, and the old DB estate in association with Group M Motion Entertainment. When he left, it was a big loss for us. Rap fans will appreciate the many gems offered about the Brooklyn MC. Mariah Carey details how ODB recorded his verse for her hit song Fantasy. In addition to fond memories she describes of their time filming the music video, Steve Rifkin recalls ODB asking him, "Am I going to get in trouble?" after he bum rushed the 1998 Grammy Award stage to say the famed phrase, "Wu-Tang is for the children." Because Wu-Tang didn't win Song of the Year. You're probably going to be a star for the next 24 hours, Rifkin told ODB. Turbulent moments, including arrests, getting shot, and his mental health and drug use, showed the darker side of the MC's life. Iceline confirms he would use weed mixed with cocaine, and eventually that turned into mixing weed and crack cocaine. During his final incarceration before his death, his mental health seemed to deteriorate. That's sad. So much potential wasted, yo. On November 13th, 2004, ODB died of an overdose in a New York recording studio at the age of 35. I'm 35 right now. That's crazy. That's scary. I'll be 36 at the tail end of this month. So, the final moments of his life play out in the film. Bar's son, ODB's son, and rapper was with his father the night of his death. I guess I was ready to fight everybody because he was the only one laying on the floor and nobody was there to pick him up. Barson recalls of the traumatic moment surrounding ODB's death. Humanizing the man behind the music is what Tale of Two Dirties does well. ODB's days were cut short, but his words and wisdom live on, and through this proper storytelling, I'm pushing real hard to keep the legacy going every day, Iceline says in the closing scenes of the documentary. There's a lot more, so I'll just say, yeah. I'll probably look into that documentary. But that's gonna be on the 25th, August 25th, 9 p.m. on A&E. So for whoever's interested in watching that documentary, I know I am, then yeah, definitely check it out. But yeah, it is 7. I'm gonna take a break so I can eat something, and then I'll be back for hopefully the entirety of the night. So be back in a few. God bless. And for now, peace out.